everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be teaching you all how to read in Yiddish. Yiddish uses the Hebrew alphabet, and although one may read Hebrew, it does not guarantee that they can read Yiddish as well. Yiddish borrowed the letters and altered the way they're used and the sounds they make. Yiddish has a concept of vowels, unlike Hebrew, and certain letters are just not used in Yiddish. So without further ado, here's a tutorial on how to read Yiddish for beginners. Here we go! Aleph. Aleph. This is the main vowel used in written Yiddish, although it does not have a specific English vowel that it correlates to. The sound it makes is altered by the nikudim, the accent marks. I will get more into depth in those later in the video, but for now, imagine that it can act like any of the English vowels. Vet, equivalent to the English V, making the sound V, V. Gimel, equivalent to the English G, making the sound G, G. Daled, equivalent to the English D, making the sound D, D. Hey, equivalent to the English H, making the sound H, H. Vav can either be like a V, V, or like a double E, E. Zayin, equivalent to the English Z, making the sound Z, Z. Chet, chet. This makes the hard ch sound. Ch. Tet, like the English T, making the sound T, T. Yud can either be like the English Y, Y, like the English long E, E, or like the English short I, I. Chaf, chaf, also making ch. And the chaf, or chaf sofit, which is used when a chaf appears at the end of the word and makes the same sound. Lamed, lamed, making the sound L, L. Mem, mem, making the sound And the mem, or mem sofit, like the chaf sofit, it's used if a mem appears at the end of a word and acts the same as the mem. Nun, nun, the same as the English letter N, making the sound N, N. Nun sofit, or endenun, which is used when a nun appears at the end of a word and acts the same as a nun, making the sound N, N. Samach, samach. This makes the sound S, S. Ayin, ayin. This is like the English short E, making the sound eh, eh. Fe, fe, making the sound f, f. And the fe, or fe sofit, which is when a fe appears at the end of a word, also making the sound f, f. Tzadik, tzadik. This makes the sound ts, ts. And the tzaddik, or tzaddik sofit, which is used when a tzaddik appears at the end of a word. Ts, ts. Kuf, kuf, making the same sound as the English K, k, k. Resh, resh, a rolled R. 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 Shin. Shin. Sh. Sh. Suf. Suf. S. S. Now I've left out a few important letters. Now, a few of the above consonants can have their entire sound changed simply by adding a small pintle or dot in the center. Here they are. Vet turns to bet, now making the sound b, b, instead of v, v. Chaf turns to kaf, now making the sound k, k, instead of ch, ch. Fe turns to pay, now making the sound p, p, instead of f, f. And lastly, suf turns to tough, making the sound t, t, instead of s, s. One last point. When the dot on the shin is on the right side, then it makes sh. But when it's on the left side, it makes s, and it's called a sin. Now it's time for the accents I mentioned before. I'll be showing them on an aleph, but they can be used on any letter. Comets. Comets. This can make a as in cup, or u as in hur. Pasach. Pasach. This makes a as in bahn, train. Segel. Segel. Tsere. Tsere. I. Chirik. Chirik. I. Cholem. Cholem. O or oi. Kubutz. Kubutz. I. Shva. Shva. And some other useful rules in the writing system. A chet at the end of the word always makes ach and not just ch, like in koyach, energy. A double yud can either make I, like in bein, bone, or a, like in the word hand, today. There are no uppercase and lowercase letters in this alphabet, so that's one less thing to worry about when starting to write in this unfamiliar writing system. Let's start some practices using only a couple of the letters. We can use the first 5 letters: Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, and Hey. I'll leave them right here on the screen so you can use them for reference. I will start off only using the accent comets, so all the words will have the sound, just to make it simpler. Can you read what it says here? Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. It says hub. Starts out with a hey, making h, then an aleph with a accent mark, and bet, b, hub. This says dug. It starts out with a dalid, d, then an aleph with a kametz, a, and a gimel, g, dug. Bug, bug. First we have a bet, b, again an aleph with a kametz, a, and a gimel, g, bug. Od. Od. First we have an aleph with a kametz, a, and a daled, d. Od. Hud. Hud. We start out with a hey, h, then a kametz aleph, a, and a daled, d. Hud. These non-words are what is used to teach children to read Yiddish, as using real words containing all the letters and accents at once can get too complicated. With time, more letters are introduced and the nikudim. Here's a sentence using only the kametz making a. Can you read what it says here? A little hint, the double yud makes I in this case. Dort haben sie gelaufen. There they ran. Once you familiarize yourself with the letters and sounds, I want to point out that you may hear them being pronounced differently by Yiddish speakers from different regions. While the letters stay the same, the accent marks change. I base this off my Hasidic Yiddish, although the accents will drastically change when being read by an Israeli Yiddish speaker or Lithuanian. The easiest example of this would be in the shuruk. In many Yiddish dialects, it's pronounced u and not e. In fact, when I grew up, I called it a shirik, not a shuruk. This would mean that the word for you, d, is read and said as do by speakers of that dialect. This is not something you really have to worry about though when beginning to read Yiddish, and you'll most likely be understood by anyone. That's it for today! I hope you found this video helpful. What Yiddish topic would you like to see me make a video about next? Let me know in the comments. Tag für die Dag, Lihitraot, tschüss, and auf Wiedersehen!